Lydenburg, which means Town of Suffering, lies at the foot of the Long Tom Pass and occupies a special place in the history of the Transvaal. The company of Voortrekker leader Andries Potgieter founded it in 1850. Newcomers to the special vehicle category, Dani Morais and Andrew Utterson, have yet to finish a race this season, but it looked as if their luck might change. They'd started 27th and had worked their way up to 19th overall and 6th in the special vehicle category. Paulo Piazza Musso stood in for Alfie Cox in the Arnold Chats cars Nissan Hardbody, and he and Henny ter Steege were quite happy to be running in the top 20. Top car managing editor Dion Skuman and fellow motoring scribe Jeremy Fall had a clean run so far in the top car Nissan Hardbody and were mere seconds behind Piazza Musso and ter Steege. Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek were in total command, but being chased hard by the opposition as they arrived at the rally-style D control that was introduced to enable crews to bypass an impassable section of the route. Force and Griffiths were next to arrive at the D control. Berthold and Harkus were the special vehicle category leaders in the adrenalized corporate entertainment bat, and the distant dust trails indicated that the rest weren't too far behind. Team Ford racing pair Woolridge and Scholthammer were third in the production vehicle category as they entered the D control area. So far, nothing untoward had happened to the leading group, but behind them, positions were changing all the time as crews got lost in unfamiliar terrain. Reineke and Houghton stormed into the D-control area in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser and had Corbett and Moore in the Century Property Development's bat right on their tails. Corbett and Moore campaigned an Isuzu in Class D last year, but decided to return to the special vehicle ranks on this year's Toyota 1000 Desert Race. That race ended prematurely for them after the front suspension of the bat was destroyed in an encounter with a tree stump. The recontrol area was 8 kilometers down the tar road, and the 12-minute break would give crews a well-earned rest before the Battle of Lydenburg resumed. Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek had a 30-second lead over teammates Duncan Foss and Mike Griffith, with Gary Berthold and Brandon Harkus a further 16 seconds behind. Woolridge and Scholthammer were 62 seconds behind the leading Nissan. Reineke and Houghton were 2 minutes and 27 seconds behind the leading Nissan and 1 minute and 25 seconds adrift of the Ford. Inconsistent route marking proved to be a problem for many teams, with third-placed special vehicle crew Clint Gibson and Mike Brown struggling to find the correct route in their Presidium Financial Services bat. The same problem befell Mark Cronier and Chris Birkin in the Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i, and they were in danger of losing the Class E lead. The Class D battle was intense, with leaders Labuschagne and Gerber fighting it out with the Weichels, who took advantage of the GBS racing pair's wrong slot to grab the Class D lead. Class A championship leaders Mundell and Bond also made up a place at the expense of the Nissan pair. Labuschagne and Gerber were now second in Class D and had teammates Grobler and Prinsloo closing in on them. Manfred Schroeder and Jack Peckham took advantage of Cronje and Birken getting lost and were the new Class E leaders in the Team Ford Racing Ranger. Veterans Henry Costain and Renier Jooster started 31st after picking up problems with the ex-Clint Gibson Class B Atlas Copco bat and were running in the top 3 in Class B. Husband and wife Gerrit and Kobe du Plessis started 38th after problems in the prologue and were handily placed in Class A after a storming drive through the field. And so too were Stratford Vogt and Richard Carolyn in the Atlas Copco Chicago pneumatic Jeep, who started 16th but then ended up last when a pin holding the brake pads on the rear brake caliper sheared. They spent 30 minutes repairing the damage and were now on a charge back up the leaderboard. Talking of leaderboards, there was in fact a new leader. Reineke and Houghton had got by the leading pack when they wrong slotted, and the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser was running at the head of the field for the first time this year. Force and Griffith were second in the proudly South African Nissan Hardbody and were closely followed by Neil Woolridge and Ken Schulthammer in the Team Ford Racing Ranger. Where was Grobler? There had also been a change at the top of the special vehicle category leaderboard. Corbett and Moore were the new leaders in the Century Property Development's bat and were being chased by Grobler and Leek, who had in fact picked up the puncture. Gibson and Brown were second in the special vehicle category and had quickly got to grips with the awesome power of the Audi V8 motor fitted to the bat. Gerald Mundell and Billy Bond were now third in a roofless prolonged bat and within sight of Clint Gibson and Mike Brown. Manfred Schroeder and Jack Peckham would hold the Class E lead for over 100 kilometers before getting the Team Ford Racing Ranger stuck in a ditch. Class E championship leaders Mark Cronje and Chris Birken were second in the Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i and concentrating hard on not making any mistakes that could jeopardize their championship position. Teammates Cassie Coetzee and Oki Fourie maintained a steady pace and were a handy buffer between Cronje and a horde of Class D crews that were going all out to finish ahead of the Rotax Max Karting World Champion. Cliff and Louis Weichelt led Class D, which meant that Toyota now had the lead in every one of the production vehicle classes. Hein Grobler and Gerard Prinsloo had managed to get past teammates Labus Kachni and Gerber and were second in Class D. Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane were in total control of Class B and 5 minutes ahead of Special Vehicle Championship leader Gil Nel in the Look Africa Truggy and fourth overall in the Special Vehicle category. De Chalane had already clinched the Class B Co-Drivers Championship before the Toyota Dealer 400. The Van der Merwe father and son crew had a relatively trouble-free run and were third in Class D in the Shivani Colt Rodeo. Gil Nel was as consistent as ever in the second-place Class B Look Africa Truggy and was closely followed by Class B rival Ernst Corbett and Warwick Goosen in the Century Property Development's bat. Comeback kid Nardus Alberts and Colin Hunter were the lone entrants in Class S, and their only complaint was the number of punctures they picked up. A new leader in the special vehicle category. Clint Gibson and Mike Brown had got past Corbett and Moore 10 kilometers into the start of the second loop and were opening a steady gap on the chasing pack. Just listen to the sweet sound of that Audi V8 motor. Mark Corbett and Johan Moore were second in the Audi V8 powered Century Property Development's bat. In what was turning out to be a bat benefit, Gerald Mundell and Billy Bond were third overall and in Class A in the Nissan V6 powered Prolong bat. and Deschalaine still led Class B, but they got stuck in a mud hole and broke reverse gear. Arch rival Andrew Birkin was the only competitor to help them out of the mud hole, but by then the gearbox had cried enough.
Speaking as well. It's a nice lead.
Kirstein and Jooste in the Atlas Copco bat were quick to take advantage of Donnie Marais and Andrew Utterson's misfortune.
Yeah, it's going well. We just get stuck behind the buttons. I mean, we were stuck behind and they don't move over. So they hold you up a very, very long time.
Early race leaders Berthold and Harkes had got stuck in a deep hole after getting lost on the first section, which cost them 40 minutes and the lead.